Call this meeting of the Winnsboro City Council to order. Today is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. I'd like to welcome everybody to this meeting. If you would, please silence your cell phones so as not to interrupt the meeting. If you do have to take a phone call, please step out in the lobby or outside so not to interrupt anyone speaking to the council. And if you are signed up to speak to the council, please come up to the podium when called and state your name and full address for the record. At this time, I'll do a roll call starting with to my right.
Lori here. Thatcher here.
King here. Hollowell here.
Let the record reflect a quorum of the City Council is present, and notice of this meeting was posted in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code Open Meetings Act. This time, we'll go to our invocation and pledge, and I'd ask Councilman Hollowell to please lead us in our invocation.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for another day you've given us and all your blessings that go with it. We just thank you for this opportunity to come together as a community to deliberate and discuss the business of Winnsboro. We ask that you give us the knowledge and wisdom we need to make the best decisions for the whole of Winnsboro. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
And join me in the pledges to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, one indivisible. With liberty and justice for all. To the Texas flag, honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, moving on. Our next section is Section 4. Item 4.1, proclamation declaring February 2026 as Fair Housing Month for the City of Winnsboro in compliance with the city's Community Development Block Grant programs. Whereas Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 as amended prohibits discrimination in housing and declares it a national policy to provide within constitutional limits for fair housing in the United States. And whereas the principle of fair housing is not only national law and national policy, but a fundamental human concept and entitlement for all Americans. And whereas the National Fair Housing Law during the month of February provides an opportunity for all Americans to recognize that complete success in the goal of equal housing opportunity can only be accomplished with the help and cooperation of all Americans. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Richard Parrish, Mayor of the City of Winnsboro, Texas, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim February as Fair Housing Month in Winnsboro, Texas, and do hereby urge all the citizens of this locality to become aware of and support the Fair Housing Law. In witness whereof, we have affixed our signature and seal. This is the 10th day of February 2026. Our next section, Section 5, Public Comments. This is a time when the public may address the City Council on any subject. However, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the City Council from discussing issues in which the public has not been granted 72 hours notice. And seeing that no one signed up for our public comment section, we'll go ahead and move into Section 6, our consent items. Council, in your packet, you will find your minutes from the January 13th meeting, your financials, and your staff reports. On the staff reports, are there any members of the staff that want to add anything to your report as submitted? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Stout, if you'd come forward.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am Carolyn Stout. I'm your Director of Tourism. I have come today to let you know and just simply remind you that we have got a city-sponsored concert that will be happening Friday after this coming, so February 20th. Doors open at our Civic Center at 7:15, and the first act will take stage at 8, and our headliner will take the stage at 9 and play until 11. We are selling VIP tickets for tables, and so a table seats 6, and you get a drink ticket along with that. 5C Custom Creations will be providing beer and wine, and the Chamber will be providing soft drinks and water. Both of those are basically fundraisers for those two organizations that are partnering with the city for this concert. We have got Queen Kiwi opening for us, and we have got the Dexter Row Band, who is a Nashville recording artist. He's a fiddle player and a guitarist with a 3-piece band behind him. He's a little bit of a cross between Charlie Daniels and Chris Stapleton. So it's gonna be a great evening. We've got a dance floor set up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'd invite you to attend. Please invite your friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else have anything to add to your report? Chief?
Mayor, as you'll see, just to let you know, in those reports, it's our yearly racial profiling that's been turned in. A copy of that will be sent to T-Cole after you all had a chance to look over it. Everything turned out pretty normal. There was nothing that was out of the ordinary for the year, but that is just a year the report was turned in.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Anyone else? Okay, council, you have any questions about our consent items? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve all consent items as presented.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
A second.
Have a motion and a second, any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay. And council, we're gonna jump down to item 7.7, action on agreement with Amoresco. The gentleman that's here this evening is on a tight schedule, so we're gonna let him come up and speak about this. So go ahead and,
I'll set it up
Okay,
just for
okay.
a moment, but Billy will come up and answer any questions and maybe give a little bit more. We've been working together, several of us within the city, to put together an agreement for project development for wastewater and water, and what they will do, come in, and there's a lot of testing and things that they will do, looking at some of our infrastructure so that we can put together both a short and long-term plan for what we need to go out and seek grants and bond funding for combination. There's a lot of grant funding out there available right now, but we have to know where we stand in a lot of things in order to do that. And so this is a proposal for them to both, to initially give us that information, and then, you know, to potentially also be a provider to do the services at the end of that. But for now, what this agreement specifically is to go in and put together the plan. And Billy's here to maybe just give you a couple of minutes of an overview with Amoresco, and then you can ask him any questions. So this is Billy McCord.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you all for the opportunity to be here, and thank you for the introduction. So, yes, as she alluded to, as Amoresco, we're effectively a company of engineers and project managers that work largely with municipalities, universities, federal government, primarily government clients on water, energy conservation, utility planning, and things of that nature. So the scope of the services for the city of Winnsboro is really to help you tackle a few specific areas, some of the infiltration and inflow issues that you have during rain events. We're gonna have a pretty heavy focus on the 370 manholes within the city, doing an inspection of each of those, an inventory, GPS coordinates, depth, material, condition, and just really help get our arms around pricing and what needs to get done to treat that. And we believe it'll help greatly mitigate the I&I issues that you guys are experiencing. Within that, we'll also look at other wastewater conveyance systems, pumping systems, some of the upgrades needed at the plant. And then on the water side, as the city has been looking at its capital improvement program and doing some water meter projects with the advanced metering infrastructure, we can provide some testing and options for that. So you kind of have a baseline of where the city currently is on metered water versus where it could be, along with some of the other benefits that come with that. And as Tanya alluded to, our scope in this is to get you a menu of options that delineate all of the scope, the pricing potential, and then also help explore grants and funding opportunities.
okay, looking through your agreement here, it looks like there, it says that the project development fee is $60,000.
Yes, sir.
Is that turnkey to do your evaluation and provide us with the estimate and everything like that? Because I also see something in here called the implementation price.
Yes, sir.
Is that the implementation price disclosed later in your estimate?
So what the estimate does is it allows us to do the engineering to develop pricing and scope items. and we'll bring you that back. You're not obligated to implement any of that scope with us. If you do, we take that 60,000 and roll it into that, and it gets financed out of future savings or grant proceeds or something of that nature. So typically on these deals, we're not coming in and, billing you for the $60,000. We come in and do that design, roll that into another project, and that's what the implementation is. So most likely we'll bring you back, 5 or 6 options of things that you can do. We'll have some financial avenues to do them. You'll pick a couple, and that would be the scope of services for the implementation price.
Council, any questions?
370 manholes. Skip, how many of those have you had to crawl down?
369.
369.
Okay. Tanya, you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think just reiterating that, we only pay that initial fee if we don't move forward with the implementation of everything, but then we still have the plan. And if we do move forward with Amoresco, then it's all lumped into whatever we implement. So they're kind of taking the risk up front, hoping that we'll work with them, and they're pretty expert at helping us get all of the funding and mirroring up the grants and bond opportunities. I mean, we know how to do some of that, but it's nice when people have done it more specifically on these kinds of projects, so.
We hope you end up liking us.
Right.
Has the city of Winnsboro done this before, like a million years ago, or?
I don't think we've done anything like this. We did a little bit of planning when we did the rate, when we kind of changed the utility rate plan, but it didn't really have a plan. It just kind of identified a couple of things that we thought we were gonna need, plus the fact that we were operating in the red at that point. Part of it was just that piece of it, but not the full scope of knowing where all of our current infrastructure is, where it all stands, what needs fixing, what needs upgrading, and so that when we have all that together, we can figure out if we can do something grand scale all at once to get us where we need to go, or create a 2 to 10 year plan of that.
I'll say this, Skip, even if we do this, you can't retire.
I promise you, even if you do this, there's still gonna be things I know that nobody else will know. I feel okay.
Amen.
Oh, Council, any other questions? Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Council, hearing no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the project development agreement with Amoresco as presented.
I have a motion, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the flexibility.
Not a problem.
I normally wouldn't leave the district playoff game, so. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move back up to item 7.1. Action to approve appointments of EDC board members for place 3 and place 4. The recommended applicants are for place 3, John Ferris, with a term expiring 10 of 2026, and place 4, Brandy Putman, with a term expiring 10 of 2026. Mackenzie, do you have anything you want to add? Council, you were all emailed a review that the applicant board reviewed and summarized. And this was their EDC. The EDC came back with these recommendations. So do you have anything you want to add?
I sat in on those interviews. I think they're 2 really great candidates. I think one, in Mr. Ferris, brings a lot of business knowledge, a lot of knowledge into opportunities that bring grants and businesses and ideas to our community. And then Ms. Putnam, who's here in the audience today, she is true as Winnsboro comes, deep roots in this community. I have no doubt she has a vision and what she truly believes is best for Winnsboro and what she knows from feedback from those people that live in this community. So I think we have 2 really good people to be on this board.
Okay. Ms. Lindsay, you have anything to say? Okay. Council, any questions? You want to hear from any of the applicants that are here?
Ms. Putnam, would you like to say anything?
If you would come up to the podium, state your name and address.
Ben, I'm sorry, I'm putting in there.
I'm Brandy Putman. I'm 1637 County Road 4730 in Winnsboro. I just appreciate the opportunity to serve the community in this way. I look forward to working with the city, all of you, and I look forward to what seems to be happening within the Winnsboro EDC. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, council, any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the appointment of John Ferris and Brandy Putman to EDC Board, seat places 3 and 4, respectively.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
I second.
Have a motion and a second, any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Little late to
Yeah.
little late to the show there.
I'm a late voter. I have been to the polls twice right before the doors are closed. I'm just a late voter. Yeah.
Item 7.2, action on EDC business retention and expansion policy. Council, you'll see in your packet a resolution coming down to us. The EDC has taken this, and for the next 12 months, they are wanting to work more on a BRE, which is a business retention and expansion in the city of Winnsboro. Now, by no means does that mean that we want to turn away a new business that wants to come in, but they're primarily going to focus more on the retention of what we have and the expansion of what we already have in Winnsboro to help our businesses already here grow and stay here. And the EDC has put this together. They've sent it up to us. Their board has agreed to. This is what they want to do for the next at least 12 months. I believe Ms. Lyons told me they were going to have a workshop and kind of hash out who was going to do what in what area. And all this is just for us to ask questions and approve their BRE policy.
So I would say, like, one thing that we've discussed as an EDC is being more foot traffic involved in our businesses in town. Being out there talking to those business owners, finding what their needs are, what their, kind of what they're seeing in terms of trends in the community and how they're shopping, how they're spending money, and then how, as an EDC, we can support that more, for that retention, to keep those businesses that have been here, that have weathered the storms of being here, without kind of throwing it, look at what we're bringing in that's not staying. And we've seen multiple businesses that come into this town, open doors, taken money to open those doors, and then not been able to stay. And so, finding a way to really almost reward those businesses for being here, but more so, as a way of changing our thought process of the committee to being more involved in our community, involved in those business owners shops and walking into those, and not just going into shop, but going in to actually ask questions and see how we can benefit them, to want to keep them there. So I'm a big supporter. I think it's going to be a good thing. So I guess therefore I move to approve the business retention and expansion policy.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to our next items. Item 7.3, action on battlefield. Wow. What a day. Yeah, it's going to be Hunger Games out at Walker Park. Item 7.3, action on ball field contract application and policy. Ms. Lyons, I believe this is you. Actually, Trevor, see,
So-
y'all don't tell me these things.
So yeah, so I actually looked at the agenda and thought, I don't have much to say today, but I should have known better. So Mackenzie actually worked a lot on this. The ball field at Walker Park, we kind of lease that out to different organizations that run that and manage that, but there really hasn't been any clear policy for that. And so, thank you to some citizens who kind of showed interest as well, to kind of push that and to bring that to light. I didn't really even know that that was what we were doing with Walker Park. But having, Mackenzie kind of wrote up a policy, sent it to me, we were able to look through some things, and create just some clear guidelines as how that, that works in terms of the lease for that use of that park and what that's being used for and the communication in that. The policy will be up on the website. It can be read, looked into so that you can better understand it. And we'll have good information for how to contact those people that are in charge of, that are leasing that property as well. I think it's just good to have some clear guidelines as to how it needs to be handled and cared for and how it's being ran. So I think this does that clearly.
Ms. Lyons, do you have anything to say?
There's also an application process in there. We did clear up, Councilmember Thatcher contacted me this afternoon, and it already said it, but she preferred that it be just a little bit more straightforward, that the contract will be renewed annually instead of just the lease lives on in
Yeah.
existence of the same person year over year. And also just to reiterate, it was the intention of council to not include WBSA. What's that?
Whatever the baseball
That's
field
right. Yes,
association.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
In this requirement, it's kind of a carte blanche for them that they get line card.
Okay, council, any further questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the ball field contract application and contract policy as presented.
Second.
Wait for it. I have a motion to second. Any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, item 7.4, action on professional services agreement for civil engineering with Bureau Veritas of North America. Ms. Lyons, Ms. Austin?
We already have an agreement with Bureau Veritas for third-party inspections for residential and commercial construction. As more development starts to happen in the city and bigger projects are being brought forth to the EDC, one of the requests is civil engineering review. Obviously, we don't have anybody on staff that can do that, so adding this to our contract is just a pay-as-you-go. If we have the need for a set of plans to be reviewed by a civil engineer, then we can pass those along to BV, and they will do that for us on a per-project basis.
Council, any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the professional services agreement for civil engineering with the Bureau Veritas.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second by Councilwoman Thatcher. Any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Action on Resolution 2026-04, ordering the general election for May 2nd, 2026. Whereas by this resolution is the intention of the City Council to call the general election and enter into a joint election with Winnsboro ISD and establish and set forth procedures for conducting the election. A couple of important dates. The election is hereby ordered to be held on May 2nd, 2026 for the purpose of electing 3 alderpersons for 2-year terms. Early voting will be held at the Carroll Green Civic Center at 602 McAllister Street in Quitman. And on election day, polling location will be at the Winnsboro Civic Center at 915 Wheeler Drive. The hours for the general election day are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on May 2nd. Council, any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve resolution 2026-04, ordering the May 2nd, 2026 general election.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, item 7.6, action to adopt resolution 2026-05 regarding civil rights policies for the Texas Department of Agriculture Community Development Block Grant Program, contract number CDM 25-0544.
Move to approve resolution number 2026-05 regarding civil rights policies for the Texas Department of Agricultural Community Development Block Grant Program, contract number CDM 25-0544.
I haven't even called for a motion yet. Now you're ahead of yourself.
He's ready to go home.
He's hungry.
Have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the morning? Any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. I will move on to item 8, general discussion by council or staff. Is there any member of staff that has anything of general interest to the city council? Council, do you have any comments you'd like to make? I will say this, something I would like to have the council know and the public to know. In our March meeting, we will have our, what fiscal year audit? 2022 fiscal year audit. And I have been informed that since, well, for a couple of years, I'll say, and if I'm wrong, correct me, Mackenzie, but our water utility fund has actually been operating in a positive balance, no longer in a negative like it had been operating. So the utilities are finally supporting themselves completely. Any other comments by the council? Hearing none, seeing no further business on our agenda, the next regular council meeting will be held on March 10th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. All requests to be placed on the agenda must be completed and turned into City Hall no later than noon, 10 business days before the scheduled meeting. With no further business, we stand adjourned at 5:56.